Right, y'all. So this all came out of the news and
Crazy.
stuff. Well, obviously, there's parts of that we'll have to bleep for the YouTube. All right, here we go.
Down the hatch. Nautilus Biotechnology.
Yeah.
172% up.
And welcome back to episode 46 of Suits and Sliders
Here
podcast.
we go, mate.
Here we go. We've got a banger of an episode today.
We do. A banger.
We really do. Plenty of the fan favourite segments.
Yeah.
We've got some new scratches we're going to try in a second and so much more. What's today's episode on, though, Joe?
We're talking a lot about global differences.
We are.
And more so whether the UK is kind of holding businesses back and should you look elsewhere potentially.
Exactly. We're going to take a microscope to the other places around the world as well. A lot of people say, oh, just move to Dubai. But we're going to look at it and see the pros, the cons, as well as the state, as well as Asian territories. We're going to look at them all. So, before we do, shall we do the scratchy?
We should do the honours, mate.
Let's do it. Freshly into 2026 now, so we're hoping for a lucky year. We are, I think.
I think it will be, mate.
Sure, I'll let you start. Go on,
right, I'll start. Why not? So, we had a winning number that we had to match, or alternatively, we could match 3 identical prizes to win the prize amount.
Yeah,
one of them
interesting.
only, though.
Yeah.
So, my lucky number was 6.
6? It's a good number.
I got 16,
Not that
21,
one. Not that one.
3,
Not that one.
13,
Not that one.
and 11. However, I did get £100 as one prize. I got 20 as another. I got £2 as another.
Oh, I like that.
Another £2.
No way.
And a £20.
Oh,
So I didn't win.
Man, you had me there. You had me there. Oh, fair enough. That one, felt like a lead balloon. Right, next one.
Flop like one.
My winning number was 14.
Okay.
It's a good number.
That's right.
And the numbers that I got
Go on.
were 21, were
Okay.
11,
Okay.
was 12,
Not good.
was 14. And another 14.
No, you didn't.
I won £2.
Whoa! Unreal.
When I was like scratching, I scratched the numbers off first. I was like, I hope the 14 is the winning number. Pulled it in, mate. And the amounts weren't the same, but £2 scratchy.
Hey.
That's our money back.
There we
love
go.
That. We love that.
You know why you won that
Another
one?
one for the winning pile.
Because I didn't choose.
Oh my days.
That's why.
It probably is.
Yeah.
This man's
so,
got the
mate.
lucky touch as far as scratch cards recently. It's getting weird.
I don't know about that. Don't put too much pressure on it,
People
mate.
turn up at your door, do you mind just like buying a scratchy for me? Right, well, we are going to get into our very first segment of the day. A fan favourite, an absolute banger.
But before we do, my friends,
very good point.
we got a very special announcement.
Let's talk about our paid partnership, BetterHelp.
So we're coming to the end of January. You've probably already stuffed up your resolution. It's freezing outside. The weather is rubbish. You need to now make sure your mental health is in check.
Yes, and while we're here supporting the business journey and the logistics, you need somebody there as a position of support for your mental game while you're going into 2026.
And that's where BetterHelp's online therapy service comes in. It allows you to connect with a credentialed therapist from your laptop or your phone.
And it's simpler than ever. You can schedule it to work around your time and your schedule and your hard work. Instead of having to go out in the cold, you can do it all from the comfort of your own home.
We've used it ourselves, and I can personally say it's very professional, it's affordable, and very convenient.
And you don't just have to take our word for it. Trustpilot has a 4.3 star review with thousands and thousands of positive words said about BetterHelp services.
And that's why this partnership means so much to us. So if you want to get your mental health in check, use the link down below or use code Suits and Sliders for 10% off your very first month.
You'll be supporting us, yourself, and importantly, the grind.
Now let's get back on with the episode. So we are into workplace stories.
Workplace stories.
Now we are doing business trips that went wrong or business trips chaos kind of stories.
So many cracking stories.
I'll kick us off, right?
Go on, you go first.
So I've got the title, The Log.
The Log.
Yes. So this guy was sent on a 3-day training event by a national firm that he used to work for.
Okay.
They were booked in. There was 2 of them in a room for 2 days or 2 nights, I should say. And his roomie left apparently an absolute stinking log in the toilet.
Oh no!
And proceeded to try to hide it. So what he tried to do was get all the toilet roll and shove it in, so you can actually see like this honking log
Rookie mistake.
Horrible. Anyway, this is where the problem started, right? He came out and said it's clogged and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
He thought it was no biggie, like just get a plunger
and
I'll do the job.
Yeah.
Problem started when they flushed it and it got stuck, and it was on a constant flush cycle. Like it just kept going and it started overflowing and everything. Apparently he had to grab all his stuff, chuck it on the bed, and they had to get like the staff to come up.
Oh, that's revolting as well.
Yeah, to come up and look at the situation. Thankfully, the hotel put them in another room.
Yeah.
But the second one was not as nice as the first one.
Okay.
While moving hotel rooms, he forgot one of his suits in the closet on the first room.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so he didn't realise until the next morning. He had like a big business meeting to go to. So he went down to that room and asked the staff, like, where's my suit? And apparently it's just gone. So someone's nabbed it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's bad.
Literally.
And the roommate apparently didn't want to talk to him for the rest of the trip because he was like super embarrassed of laying this log. And
rough.
the bill that the company got was apparently extortionate because they had to proper repipe everything.
Yeah, I bet that's
You know what that reminds me of as well?
Go on.
Do you remember my ex-roommate at Hartbury?
Yeah.
Do you remember when we like in our first year we roomed together?
Yeah.
And then next year like we're like in the same building but in different blocks.
Yeah.
And we went down to his room and I went to use his toilet.
You used to use everyone's toilet, not your own.
Oh, mate. And he didn't realise, but there was this massive
He just left in there?
No, he flushed it, came back up. Oh, mate, it was grim.
Mental.
Grim.
Do you know what? It reminds me of another story as well. I was watching Joe Marler's new podcast the other day.
Yeah.
And he had Max Fosh on for an episode.
Oh, yeah.
And they did this thing back and forth where like, at the point where you feel so embarrassed that you can't continue the game, you have to keep saying embarrassing stories.
Like cringe.
Cringe, yeah. It's like a cringe meter where at one point somebody cancels out because it's too cringe.
Yeah.
And they go back and forth, and Max has like done this, Joe's done this, go back and forth. And Joe Marler goes, when I was on like a camp for like England rugby or whatever, he's like, one of my mates took a massive poo in the toilet and it wouldn't go down, and I had to use my bare hand to like prod it down the toilet, and both the co-host of the show and Max were like, what? that ended it. Max and I got nothing to beat that. And Joe Marler was like, maybe I shouldn't have said that. It's the funniest thing.
Oh, I bet he has some stories in the England rugby
he's
camp.
got some stories. Right, I'll get to my first proper
Go on.
My first one it's a little bit of a short one. It's just called Cheapskate.
Okay.
Right? So business trip chaos. The director of my company wanted the absolute cheapest, no frills, no exceptions ticket possible to take it from Ottawa to Toronto. It's a 4-hour drive, bear in mind, right? Don't even ask me. He said, don't even ask me for any exceptions. I want it cheap, cheap, cheap. He's one of these really tight-ass sort of directors. Yeah. Anyway, the executive assistant had this thrashing from him. No thrills, no expense, all this sort of stuff. And he took that instruction fairly literally, and so decided to book the cheapest possible ticket he could find, which was a 4-stop journey on the closest airline to take him from Ottawa to Montreal, from Montreal to Reykjavik in Iceland, and then Reykjavik to Toronto, which was $20 cheaper than the direct flight from Ottawa to Toronto. The next time the director decided to fly direct.
What? Why would you do that?
Because he was like,
the
cheapest flights.
That time you wasted is like way more than $20.
It's like he wasted literally 24 hours flying about.
Honestly.
I find it hilarious. It's a 4-hour drive and he ended up flying for like best part of 28 hours.
I'm sorry, that's crazy, mate.
Hilarious.
Talk about being a
$20 as well.
Literally.
I mean, the director didn't know until he got there because the executive assistant.
It's terrible.
I just think that's so funny taking that literally.
Right, anyway. Mine is tortoises on a business trip.
Okay.
A few years back, we were looking for someone for like a manager level kind of small firm.
Yeah.
And they had a candidate come in. She was well groomed, appeared very intelligent, made good conversation. Okay. We hired her and she started 2 weeks later. The person that showed up was very, very different from the person we interviewed.
Okay.
This guy apparently couldn't believe it. It was the same person, obviously.
Yeah.
But just acting completely differently. Okay. And he thought he was on like a an imposter show or like, you know, those like pranks. Yeah, like hidden camera show, whatever it may be. She was messy, apparently. She was unkept, wouldn't look anyone in the eye, kept mumbling to herself like loads.
She like drugs or something.
Apparently, they had like this business trip coming up in South California.
Okay.
And her first week, they were like, okay, we'll bring her along, see how she comes along. So she said, first of all, this was like the first red flag, she had to drive herself. And we were flying. Everyone was flying, but she said she had to drive.
Okay, no fear of
I told her, no problem, I'll pay the mileage, even though it was like significantly more than getting a flight.
Yeah.
When we got to the client's first meeting in the first morning, we went into the conference room. She was carrying a weird tote bag.
Okay.
That's all it says. Don't know what's weird about a tote bag. Anyway,
Sure.
I thought there were files in it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it actually contained tortoises. She later knocked the bag over and they started walking around the client's floor.
That's so funny.
And then this guy, apparently he's like quite high up, had to play it off. He was like, you'd be amazed how well these things can audit, and like trying to joke and stuff like that. Apparently he was like super uncomfortable, trying to like cheese the clients a little bit. After the meeting, the client walked out and I just said, Linda, do you want to tell me what's going on here?
Yeah.
She said, I can't leave them alone. They're my family to me. This job is just too much pressure.
That's why she couldn't fly.
Supposedly, yeah.
Okay.
And she started throwing them into the tote bag and then she walked out. I literally never saw her again.
That's mental.
I just sent her a final paycheck via the mail. She was obviously disturbed and he apparently felt like really wrong and hard done by, but he also felt bad for her.
Yeah.
But how mad's that? Going on a business trip,
taking your
packing tortoises.
And they carry them into the meeting as well. Like they can't be left alone for an hour.
Yeah.
That's just crazy. You can't like, well, I guess you can't, leaving them in the car. It's not like
But leaving them in a bag's bad.
Tortoises, they're meant to do well in the heat as well. So leave them in the car, they crack the window.
It's
or whatever.
crazy, mate.
Mental.
You know, when you have
mental.
like a pet, that's what's it supposed to be? Like a therapy pet or something like that?
Yeah.
That's just taking it way too far.
That is taking it way too far. Right, my next one. Busy rooms with busy views.
Okay.
At a sales conference in Cronulla, room sharing was mandatory due to a tight-fisted general manager. I lucked out with quite a quiet roommate, but because of a booking mix-up in another room where our only female worker was in a one-bedroom with a different guy, that guy ended up being bunked with us. So there's 3 people in this room. So one guy jumped on the sofa, the other 2 in the 2 beds. This replacement roommate, however, turned out to be a heroic drinker and an industrial strength snorer.
God.
After sleepless hours the first night, we snapped, opened the balcony doors and rolled his entire bed out onto the balcony. Thankfully, silence and bliss was enjoyed for the rest of the night. However, it doesn't end here. The next night, we planned ahead and we decided, as the 3 of us, to park the bed on the balcony early before this guy got completely pissed drunk. While doing so, we spotted a couple of our co-workers going at it doggy on the pool beds below. Word spread fast and the balconies filled with our co-workers to the sides of us. Our roommate was already fairly drunk at this point and decided to drop a shaving foam snowball from the 4th floor window, bullseye onto the back of the lad's back and shoulders, meaning the romance quickly subsided and the crowd went wild. Breakfast the next morning was legendary.
So it ended up being all right then. That's insane, man.
What a story.
If there's a video of that, I'd love to see it. That's incredible.
So funny. Yeah, I just thought that's such like a you can imagine all the co-workers out the balconies going, look, like the intern getting lucky.
Dash
like,
Unreal. Right, I've got one guy, multiple business trips.
Okay.
So my job, I can't even speak anymore, mate. My job requires me to travel frequently.
Okay.
Both around the US and to other countries. About 4 years ago, my team hired someone who claimed they had very good travel experience.
Okay.
But that might have been a stretch because there is a lot of highlights that he's listed here, right? But apparently this guy is like beyond inept.
Oh, Jesus.
Some of the highlights I've got here. First of all, they discovered during flight check-in that their passport was expired. Okay. This was the first major trip with us and a big industry event that was already entirely paid for. They had known about it for months in advance.
Yeah,
somehow they weren't fired. And yet everything was paid for and they couldn't go.
Oh, they couldn't go to all.
Yeah, because their passport expired. They weren't allowed on.
Jeez.
Second trip, right? They left their laptop and phone in a gas station bathroom. We're at a work event that was over an hour's car ride away from the major airport we flew into.
Oh, no.
Before leaving, we stopped at the gas station, and I guess he must have left his equipment in the bathroom. We were then already halfway to the airport when he forced the poor shuttle driver to turn around. Shockingly, everything was still there, so he managed to grab it.
Lucky.
Wasn't fired.
Really lucky.
Next one. Showed up at an airport with a home COVID test. This was when many countries at the time required a negative test to travel, obviously, which was obviously denied because the airline had notified us that they'd required a particular test, a COVID test, and he decided a home one would do.
Yeah.
So he got there, trip was all paid for, got turned away.
Turned away again.
Last one, right? This guy's still in the job.
Traveler.
Still in the job. Last one. They brought a significant other with them on a Dubai work trip. I explained how the laws, at the time it might have changed by now, but they were only required married people to share a room together in a hotel. Yeah. He laughed, and so did she. And they yelled in the hotel, haha, we aren't married, we're not going to say that. Apparently they still got the room and everything, and this guy's still in the job. But it's crazy to think, like, how he, especially if your job requires you to go a lot. Mental.
There are some people who, like, I've experienced this as well, where they get down route or they go on this business trip, and the second they get there, it's almost like the business part of the trip goes out the window. It's just a holiday, and they just turn into this really different casual version of themselves, which is mad.
Like a full expense holiday.
I got a little short one here. It's just called Road Trip. Funnily enough, in Canada as well, in Ottawa, I had to drive back to Ottawa with a colleague from another city from a different branch. Barely knew them. They're a senior and I'm a junior. However, she was a bit of a singer. In fact, the entire way home, a multi-hour drive where she did not do anything but sing at the top of her lungs and act like it was completely normal.
That is so good, man.
Much. You can just picture that.
That reminds me, mate. I've seen this Instagram guy, and he goes clapping until my mate says something on a 3-hour ride.
What?
This guy just non-stop clapping. The music's playing and everything, and his mate's just driving like doesn't say a word. Like,
I can just picture some of our mates. You can imagine Cal Barrett just singing Eminem for a 4-hour drive.
Non-stop. Every album. Back to back.
Oh man, you can just picture the time when she like stops and has to take like a water break.
It's hilarious, mate.
And the guy's just sat there not knowing what to say.
But surely you say something, because if your colleague's doing that, like, they're comfortable, they don't really care. You could say something then, be like, do you mind?
There could be a chance where that senior's like, she thinks she's got a little bit of a talent and she's trying to show off. You know, there's some weirdos out there who do it for like a bit of a vanity
ego
thing.
Trip, yeah.
That'd be so funny as well. Oh man,
that's class.
So
mate.
Multi-hour drop loads just singing top of lungs.
Mate, her voice must have been gone the next day. Surely.
She goes into work, she can't speak.
Yeah, what happened?
Oh, don't worry.
Oh, that's brilliant. That is gold.
Man.
Right. Mine is wrong country, bro.
Oh no.
A Reddit user shared a story about a colleague that was sent on a work trip to Sydney.
Yeah.
Sounds normal, except no one clarified which Sydney. The employee, who was young, like junior, confidently boarded his flight and landed in Sydney.
Yeah.
Cape Breton in Canada.
Oh no.
Everyone else was in Sydney, Australia.
Oh my god.
He realised something. Oh god, stop crying, man. Something was wrong when he stepped outside the airport and thought, this doesn't look like Bondi. It was -4. The airport closed at 6 p.m. The company had to emergency book another international flight, pay for hotels twice, and delay the entire conference presentation.
Holy cow.
And the employee to this day still insists it wasn't his fault.
That's so funny.
Imagine that, mate.
Just getting into a different country. That is mental.
Where's everyone?
I don't know, the moment that he noticed as well, that would have been a picture to see for sure.
I can't believe
That's a long flight as well, and to not notice, like...
Where is everyone, mate?
That's mad. Right, my last one, this is a long one. It's actually not first-hand, this is just a news report, which is apparently, I'm going to say allegedly true. I'm pretty sure this has had confirmation, but I'm not
always say allegedly, just in case.
The layover that led to the career over. A commercial pilot went out partying in Johannesburg. The night before, he was rostered to fly a long-haul service back to London.
Okay.
The night escalated well beyond a few drinks, and according to messages he sent to one of his exes, it ended with him snorting off a woman's chest, right?
Proper Wolf of Wall Street there,
The
mate.
next morning, he turned up for a duty in no state to fly. The cabin crew noticed something was wrong before the aircraft left the ground, and the flight was cancelled, and he was removed from the duty. He flew back to the UK as a passenger, getting a drugs test from the airline that he flew for, which failed, obviously bringing his career to a sudden end. The passengers were never put at risk or anything like that, but the flight was cancelled and apparently cost the company over £100,000 in terms of damages and issues like that. Now, I've got some of the text that he sent his ex here. Mad. So I'm going to read this out. This is just absolutely insane that he had the audacity to send this.
So the ex like stitched him up.
Well, it says friend on here, but the tone of the messages shows that it might be an ex or at least somebody he had a fling with. But yeah, the ex like proper stitched him up. Right. I was very, very naughty, he said. And she said, tell me everything. I hope it's even naughtier than us. Right. So just playing a little bit of flirty banter. And then he says, right, get ready. So, standard Joburg step up. Bar, grill house, Tiger's Milk. I don't know what Tiger's Milk is, but I assume it's like either a strip club or something.
Something like that, yeah, probs.
Get chatting to this young Spanish bird and this Welsh chick who was at our age at the bar. Ended up sat with them talking at the table at the grill house and walking them down to Tiger's Milk. It's Sunday, so it's really not that busy, but music, dancing, and a few more drinks. At the bar, these two local lads who live in the compound, they take a fancy to the Welsh girl, and she's very drunk, so I'm keeping an eye on her. Obviously try to act like a bit of a hero here, right? Obviously ends up with being shots and whatnot with these two lads. Turns out they're absolute wankers, but not bad people. We all stagger back up to the hotel bar for one last beer before bed. Welsh and one of the guys is getting on very well, but she's told him that I'm her boyfriend. Couple of drinks at the bar and a bit of snogging, and then we somehow all end up on our way to this dude's flat. Welsh has decided that I should actually be her boyfriend. Spanish has hooked up with one of the two other local lads and is having her on the sofa. We polished off a bottle of vodka at this place, and now the girls are dancing topless. I've lost my shirt somewhere, and one of the local lads produces a plate with a few lines of so then there's a debate about whose chest is the best to do a bump off. Not going to lie, I may have started this with ulterior motives. She just responds, he's just listed this whole thing out. She's then gone, babe, that's wild. He goes, that's the story of how I ended up in Joburg. And she said, I've got to be honest with you, it's not my cup of tea. So that's what she said, which obviously had led to her exposing. He goes, yeah, not a massive bucket list item for me either, but one to tick off, I guess. Anyway, came to my senses a little way through this, decided to rescue the girls and take them back to their hotel, stayed the night with the Welsh one, shagged the other one, and then it was some of this has been blacked out. And then, I couldn't even lift my head until gone 2 a.m. and he was flying back the next day.
Nuts, man.
So this all came out in the news and
crazy
stuff. Well, obviously, there's parts of that we'll have to bleep for the YouTube. But it will all be on the Patreon.
That's crazy,
but
mate.
What a story, man. How insane is that?
Why would you... I don't understand the texting of someone. I know. That as well.
Trying to be brash and say that in terms of
bravado. Show off or something?
Some girl or whatever.
And then stuff your own career. He deserved it anyway.
And funnily enough, if it is true, allegedly, this guy is back flying now for a cargo airline. He got sacked by a commercial airline. He's back flying cargo now. But his name's out there for everyone to see. Yeah,
tarnished,
and it's tarnished for life.
Yeah,
it's absolutely ruined. That is just horrific.
What an idiot.
So anyway, there are some of the craziest stories abroad on the business trips, the working trips. We should get back into the episode now.
Let us know if you've got any as well.
Yes, certainly.
And comment down below because I'm sure there are some wild ones out
And if you want the uncensored version, go check out Patreon.
Yeah, for £4 a month.
13p a day.
There we go.
Let's go. And we are back from workplace stories. Now, I've got a bit of a story for us. I heard this on a different podcast. And it's a bit about Nescafé. Right?
Okay, yeah.
Now, the story of this is they wanted to obviously expand their global reach, go into other markets, and a massive one for them in terms of the commerce there was Japan. And it was sat there for them, and they had no idea how to infiltrate that market because they spoke to a consultant there, and the consultant was like, look, you're not making it there. It's all about tea. It's all about these drinks that they have, traditional Japanese drinks. Coffee's not even known there. You're going to do terribly.
Okay.
And they didn't really know how to enter the market, but they spoke further with this consultant and they came up with this really impressive sort of strategy plan to make it work. And the whole point of this strategy was to give Japanese people a culture shift around their drinking preferences.
Yeah.
Now, the market research showed that they didn't like coffee, as I said, had no cultural, emotional impact at all. But what did was their rising media channels at the time. Japanese media was going through the roof, and a massive one being this thing called the manga strategy that they decided to put in place.
Okay.
Which was they built like an advertising manga animation. So manga is like Japanese animation stories. That's effectively what it is. And the characters in these stories, like the adults of these stories, would drink coffee. And they'd have like links to coffee in their adult life. And as they grow up, the kids try coffee and stuff in this cartoon that went on for 5 years or so, like in Japanese culture. And what they were doing was they were tailoring this sort of comic for the sort of young adult generation, the kid generation that were coming through, so that when they started to mature, they had an attachment with coffee to being an adult and sophistication, all these sorts of things. And it really did change and have this massive culture shift amongst Japanese people, so that when they started to become an adult, moving into modern life, they started to have these caffeinated drinks. And another thing they did in the mid stage of this is they released like a sweet, it was like those mooncake kind of sweets, which is popular in Japanese culture, and they were coffee flavored. But they had cartoon packaging that was related to the manga series and all this sort of stuff. And what they did is they generated this massive campaign, and they called it the manga strategy, as I said, that was around entering coffee into the Japanese markets.
Nescafé created a whole cartoon.
They did this whole cartoon
just
to
get
series,
in Japan.
Just to get in Japan. As of late, and obviously Nescafé are partnered with Starbucks now, and the biggest Starbucks in the world has opened in Tokyo recently. Like, so the shift's been made,
huge.
And it came from these big mass markets decided to make a product to fit the market, and they did that through a culture shift. It's really cool. It goes into loads of different lessons, but the overall thing is, if you're trying to go global, it's about not only bringing your product to the market, but understanding why the market is different inherently. And so that's the story.
For sure. Like a lot of it is understanding the culture, where you're going in, and what you need to do to somehow shift that culture or adapt to their own style.
Exactly.
That's really interesting. I like that story a lot. I've not heard that before.
Coming up with the cartoon.
That's sick. That's so cool.
I'll have to try and pop up something on the screen of
that is sick. Well, I'm going to talk a bit about why brands do go global, and I guess the positives and negatives behind it.
True.
So I've got a couple little points here. So obviously going global to everyone sounds really, really sexy, doesn't it? It's like, wow, we're global now. We're global, baby.
But it comes with some risks, that's for sure.
It does, but I'll start with the positives first. So the first thing is, if you do decide to go global, you have the opportunity to explode your audience overnight.
You do.
Like, this can really, really shift your company from making a couple million to now 100 of millions. It's mental. So in the UK, obviously, you're capped by a certain population. You're still like fighting to get that 68 million people to view what your product is and maybe use your product. Whereas now, if you go into global market, you have billions of people that you can now tap into. So it just makes more sense from that standpoint alone. And this obviously helps because a lot more founders and investors will look at this. If you've managed to break into global and now have billions of eyeballs rather than millions, you're going to have a lot more interested investors and founders looking to collab with your own business.
The investment, a massive part of that pitch meeting we spoke about in the past, is demonstrating who your market is. And to replace the word million with billion, it's going to make ears prick.
Oh, massive.
Yeah.
The second one is you also spread your risk. You start to diversify a little bit more. So, for example, if you're a UK business and you've only worked in the UK, if the UK economy goes down, you're going to struggle. Now, if you are open in a lot of other a lot of other countries, and you have businesses out there or products working out there, then if the UK dips, you're going to be fine because you can lean on the US markets, you can lean on the Asian markets, the African markets.
I mean, you can see that from COVID. The businesses that struggled most were the small businesses that were individually located to whichever demographic was closing down.
And during COVID, countries started to reopen at different stages. So I think the US were really, really quick. And if you had a company over in the US, you'd be laughing. If you're in the UK, you'd be a bit slower. Thirdly is your credibility skyrockets. This kind of comes with the audience as well. Obviously, your credibility, if someone in the UK realizes your global brand is being worn in the US by X amount of people, they're going to go, oh, if it's good over there, it's got to be great over here.
True.
If you're only local, then people are going to be like, okay, yeah, it's good. But if you're global, that's when you start to get your credible.
Yeah, definitely.
And then also when it comes to investments and stuff like that, people are going to look at that and go, wow, these boys are global. So
and also it probably opens up new investors in general. Like certain countries, for example, the UK at the moment doesn't have maybe a massive wealth of investor opportunity because of the fact that certain like cost pricings and taxations that's going on at the moment in this country means that people are investing less into the UK at the moment than they have inherently in the past. But if you did have a market over in the States and you were there like bringing it to their investors who are a massively growing economy at the time, let's say hypothetically, they've got investors there ready to go with that money. So
exactly, mate. That's why
it's
very important. Lastly, the positive we have here is you gain operational freedom. You're no longer forced to do everything in one place. You can start to manufacture wherever is cheaper. In terms of talent, you can hire wherever is particularly stronger.
True.
And your base teams, you can start to shift them over to those locations as well. And also, when it comes to tax and logistics, you can go where things make sense. So you can go to more tax-free havens. You can open up headquarters in other countries, which allow your company to benefit. However, there are always negatives when it comes to this. So to quickly touch on it, you have no safety net, unfortunately. So in the UK, for example, if you are reliant on someone, you have mates, you have people who give you favors, you have potential suppliers that will help you out a little bit extra. If you're global, you're not getting that in another country purely because you don't have the connections. And that also links to cultural misfires. So what works in the UK, humor, marketing, tone, all of that stuff can flop in any other country.
Definitely.
We've seen this so many times with our workplace stories where we talk about like marketing ads gone wrong. People just do not understand the tonal culture or how it will be perceived by different countries.
No, like the UK where you've got like sarcasm in America, that's just rude.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Just rude.
Precisely. So
it's
it's
like the most sarcastic
100%.
nation by far.
It's something to be wary of, and you need to understand that you need to do a lot of analysis into the cultural demographic that you're going into. Another one which also goes against what I've just said in the positive, but you can get operational chaos. So you got the time zones, you got shipping delays, you got customer service expectations. They might be pinging you at 3 a.m. wherever you are asking for a refund. So you got to really make sure you're very nuanced on all those details. If you got all of that sorted out, then you're fine. But if you don't, it's a nightmare.
You're effectively now a 24/7 operation until you've got people in certain locations that can manage the day-to-day.
So you need to make sure you've done your due diligence in that sense. And then you got cash draining. So you burn money a lot faster abroad because every mistake gets magnified multitude than what it would be if you were in the UK. So global growth will obviously magnify your errors, but on the flip side, it will magnify your strengths if you do a really good job. So you got to weigh all of that when you come into global considerations.
You certainly do. Funny, it just reminded me when you talk about the humour side of it and having certain industries have capabilities to go global and other ones not. I know that it's a bit out there in terms of an industry perspective, but I was watching a Sidemen video and they were talking about the fact that they haven't gone over to the States and how back in the day they were all thinking about splitting up and they didn't. And the biggest thing that they said was like, the Americans just don't get us. They don't find us funny, which is so strange because, I mean, when you see the Beta Squad and like, I don't know, the Phase Squad or AMP, all of these guys like collaborate, they work together in like harmony, and I guess they offer different things to their audience members. But if just the individual UK group goes over to the States or the States come here, like, I find it a bit cringy watching the American style humor, whereas like they probably look at the British humor and they're like, that's just not funny.
Doesn't make sense.
Like, they're just being horrible to each other.
I mean, it makes sense though, because the UK like Sidemen right now, they'll have US viewers watching them.
They will, yeah.
So if they go over to US, those viewers will just continue to watch them.
True,
they won't
will
really branch out to many more potentially.
No, it's a good point. It's a good point.
But also, like, that is ultimately the strength of your home location.
Yeah,
you do know the culture, you know the audience, you can play into certain things.
The home crowd.
Yeah.
I've got a bit on the taxation side of stuff.
Yeah, this is interesting.
So I'm going to do it more from a statistical point of view because there's an awful lot of red tape around this sort of stuff. So I'm just gonna hit the nail on the head, right? So income tax wise, and I've compared the UK, the UAE, which is obviously a big notable one, the US and China. These are the ones that I compared. Obviously, you've got Australia. I know we've got some Australian viewers. If you really want to know about this, we can run it back and do an Australian one in the future. But for income tax, in the UK, you've got different progressions, 20%, 40%, 45%, depending on your income. Whereas in Dubai, no personal income tax at all. In the US, it varies per state, but also similar figures to the UK to a certain degree, just a little bit less. And in China, I didn't actually realize this, but they've got quite a comprehensible strategy as well, which is 45%. income tax. It's quite high.
Yeah, it is quite high. That's massive.
I was looking into breakdown. So in terms of, I've looked at the top income tax rate. As I said, UK 45%, Dubai is 0%, the US is 37%, is their highest, which is like a federal one, but that only references certain states. And China is 45%. So, and the brackets for that is interesting as well. If you're earning over £125,000 in the UK, you're a part of that top 45%.
Yeah.
In the Dubai, obviously, it doesn't matter. In the States, you've got to be, have a guess how much it takes to cross into the top percentage, which is the 37% income tax.
Is this on average? Because obviously you said...
So there's a marker which once you go above this bracket, you're into the 37%.
I reckon...
Do it in dollars as well if you can.
Yeah, I reckon it's lower.
Do you think?
Maybe. I'll go like $90,000.
$609,000.
Really?
Wow. So it's much higher.
That's insane.
Right? Now, this is state by state dependency, but the highest one it could find was $609,000, reaches the 37% threshold. Crazy. Which is mad. In China, it's very similar to the UK. It's 960 RMB, which is effectively £105,000. Point being is if you're in the UK, your net income changes. Like the average net income we've looked at is £30,000 in this country. It means you're walking away with £25,500. The same for Dubai is obviously it just meets your 30,000. In the US, you're taking home 26,000, so a little bit more than the UK. And in China, you're taking home 24,000, which is a little bit less than the UK.
Yeah.
So for businesses though, this is where things start to change.
Corporation tax.
So the corporation tax, this is where it does get interesting. In the UK, the corporation tax is 25%. Yeah. Obviously, it has the margins we've spoken about in terms of if you're in a certain threshold of business earnings. In Dubai, have a wild guess how much it is.
I'd say it's probably around I'll say it's low still. I reckon 10%?
Very close. So in some businesses it's 0. I will say that now. So it's not all businesses, but the average mark is 9%. It does depend on industries as well. It has very 9%. Different metrics. It's 9% in general. Yeah. In the States, what do you think? More or less than the UK?
Probably. So UK is 25. I reckon they're about 20, probably a bit less.
Very close again, 21.
21.
Again, varies by state, but the average is 21. And then
makes sense because they have so many businesses out there.
Any guess on China?
China, probably around the same, 20.
25. So the same as, however, the interesting thing about China is because they've got such a massive tech and, industrial sort of incentivized stuff there, they drop their percentage from 25 to 15 if you have certain companies that are in the tech field.
Oh, wow.
Because they supply so much for big corporations around the world. And then the only
other
thing
interesting,
that I think is really interesting is understanding inheritance tax. Now, we're looking at this. We understand we talk about business, but an important thing is to be aware of the inheritance tax in terms of from a livable perspective of where you're going to base yourself. So the UK at the moment. Oh, mate. Do you know what it is?
Isn't it 40%?
It's 40%.
It's extortionate.
It's actually insane.
It's actually horrible. I'm sorry.
It breaks my heart.
That's so really sad. People you work your whole life to give pretty much half of what you earn away. And more than
you don't actually have, one, probably a lot of faith in for the most time. And secondly, you're not seeing where that money's going. Our systems don't prove that.
But also when you get to a certain age, you're probably looking for care and things like that.
Exactly.
So the other half of your money is probably gone.
Yeah.
So then you end up giving nothing down to your generation.
The only thing you can give down inheritance free is your debt, which is quite interesting.
Yeah, which is ridiculous as well.
So as far as Dubai,
it gets me mad.
It does get me mad.
You know what? I'm going to go 0.
It is 0.
Yeah.
In terms of the states,
I reckon they're low as well. I want to go 20.
They're 32 in their highest state. So I think in some states it's a lot less than that. I've got 32 here. And China, I think they're 20 as well. China's 0.
0.
Now, what you've got to understand about China and the Asian markets, they are very sort of cultured when it comes to taking care of their elderly. Yeah. It's a part of their fibers.
Well, the Asians live a lot longer, don't they?
And so I think that's what kind of gives birth to this idea of not having any inheritance tax.
No stress.
So going back to the sort of business side of it, net profit after corporation tax, if you make 10,000 in a business, you make £8,100 in the UK. In Dubai, you make 10,000. In the States, you make 7,900. In China, you make 7,500. Point being is kind of what I've understood from all of this is, yes, they're on a financial basis. The UAE, countries like this, they benefit far in excess in terms of incentives to financially benefit in those places.
Yeah.
There is a sort of swings and roundabout thing when it comes to that. In the States, again, it does vary on states, but they do have some that are just as harsh or close to being as harsh as the UK is.
Yeah.
but they've got some that are a lot less. And there's certain incentives there which offer you sort of buyback schemes. Donald Trump's announced this thing this year about giving back a certain amount to each resident in the US. And then China, it does follow their culture shift. However, it's still harsher than ours in some way when it comes to business corporation tax, income taxes that you get. So anyway,
so like with China, do they change as well, like the UK, depending on your threshold?
They don't change in terms of the income tax, I've noticed, but they do change when it comes to the business tax, corporation tax, because it does change depending on what business you're in. But it's a progressive up to 45% structure in the States. But 45% meets the same threshold as it does in the UK.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Crazy, mate.
Mental. Anyway, question of the week takes us on into that.
Go on.
Would you consider moving to Dubai as an entrepreneur for low tax, or is there still value to you staying in the UK with its home comfort?
Right. I'm going to give like a boring answer.
Okay.
But I can delve into it a little bit more.
Yes, yeah, I think we should.
So I think it depends on your business, right? And it depends on you as an individual.
Definitely.
So what I'd say the benefits of moving to Dubai are, you obviously keep more of what you earn. Simple maths, as you've mentioned.
Yeah.
It's a fast moving culture, so people are there to build, not just like chitter chatter. So you're looking to probably partner with a lot of people, build your enterprise that way. Yeah. You've got incredible access to global wealth, loads of investors out there, high spending people. So as long as you're meeting that threshold, then you can mingle with these people. However, in the UK, I think what Dubai probably doesn't have is your network. So if you are a UK company, organisation, which is, I'm assuming, what the question is, and shifting your organisation to Dubai, you don't have that network. And you will never have those people to rely back on if times get tough, because you're in a whole new place, whole new world, basically. I also think that network that you do build, that takes years to build and rebuild, if you can, in a new place when there's loads of other business around and a lot of money flying about. And I do think the culture, the humour, the trust, that stuff cannot be imported to a new place. So if you are heavily reliant on networking, and that is a huge asset to your business, Dubai is not for you. If you want to go get a quick cash grab money thing and go pump a load of money out there in your business, Dubai is for you. But you got to weigh, I'd say they're the main two you've got to really weigh.
And then your personal take is?
For us, with Suits and Sliders, with Suits and Sliders, mate, we can go global, baby. Like, that's the thing. There is no like limit to where we need to go, because technically we're not held to anything. We're a podcast, we can shift.
Yeah.
But I would say, because of, depending on where we are at whatever time we maybe look at doing something, if we've got a heavy UK fan base, then I'd say it's pretty much irrelevant going over.
Yeah. Okay.
But then you could argue you've got the likes of, is it Mike Thurston, who's a UK gym person. He's living in Dubai. You've got loads of other people from America in Dubai.
There are.
But I'm looking at the big earners, Sidemen, Mr. Beast, Beta Squad, like all of those people, they're in their location.
They understand the home team advantage. Sort of
and you need to know your roots, mate.
You do.
What about you?
Do you know what? Because obviously I thought about this question beforehand.
Yeah.
I've really gone into a bit of a rabbit hole here. So just allow me to land with this.
All right.
So the Dubai versus UK, in terms of my sort of personal take on it. Now, an important thing is to understand life stages. As you said, pre-family / post-family really changes the metrics of what we're looking at. So Dubai is attractive. We've spoken about it. Low tax, incredible services, safe and efficient. Great weather if you like it being hot. I don't really like it being hot anyway, but anyway, that's aside the point. But right now,
well, it could be too hot, mate, because it's usually like 42 degrees.
Exactly.
I've seen a meme on Insta. Sorry, because I've interrupted you, but I've seen a meme on Insta, and the guy's like calling his mate up. It's like, oh yeah, so how's Dubai? Yeah, good. What's that? Oh yeah, you're stuck indoors all day because it's too hot. Oh, nice. What's that? Oh yeah, you can't drink already. Okay, cool. You're just like rinsing.
That's a really good point. Yeah, that's a really good point.
There's loads of stuff. Anyway, carry on.
No, I hear you. But like right now, genuinely, I want to continue giving the UK a real chance. Yeah. Now, I know there's conversations growing about like entrepreneurs like fleeing because of high taxation, stagnation in terms of our services, tax pressure from our government and stuff. But I do genuinely believe, I say this hand on heart, we are at the start of a demographic shift. because of the way that living expenses are going in this country, education is going in this country, and opportunity is going in this country, there is becoming a bit more of a shift for business owners, founders, pressure on certain policies for them to evolve in order to support UK businesses. We're seeing this from our audience growing. We're seeing this from meeting more people in our space and understanding that entrepreneurship as a whole is growing. You're getting loads more kids talk about entrepreneurship at the school stage, which is going to lead to their adulthood. And the other side of it is, I am actually quite patriotic. I'm not blindly patriotic to say that, like, I love everything about this country and I love the every person I've ever met here. The truth is, I do love the country. Doesn't mean that I love the governance that we currently have. Doesn't mean that I love every single fibre about the weather and this and that and the food necessarily. But I think as a whole, we are still the core of like society's growth as a whole. If without the UK, you don't have the legal systems in place. Without the UK, you don't have the financial infrastructure, which has literally been grown all over the world. The Great British Pound is still the core currency,
the strongest,
which backs every other currency behind it. And it has the London Exchange, which is the core strength of financial institution that has ever existed. We were a world superpower less than 2 generations ago. Like, single-handedly, we built global trade, like structures. We have like some of the coolest sports, some of the greatest culture, some of the greatest scientists, like Charles Darwin, Isaac Newton. The UK, look, I think it's so underrated now because of the fact that we've had such poor media hysteria over the last sort of 10 years and stuff. And my conclusion is, Dubai is this sort of brand new sports car. It's got all the bells and whistles, but in my honest opinion, it's not been tested. It hasn't had these decades and decades and decades of structurally understanding how sound it is in terms of understanding what their real culture is, what it's like to move there and be there long term. Because it is just shiny and financially
it's brand new. Like, people say it. I've never been, but people do say like it lacks history.
It does,
like you walk in there, you just don't feel it.
No, you don't. I've been fortunate enough to be there, and it does. To me, it feels cold in terms of culture. It feels amazing and bright, shiny and brand new and amazing. You're hearing the Lamborghinis and Ferraris race around the roads at night, and it's cool. But this place, it's got that sort of worn, imperfect, built for community feel, which I think is our home, and it is where our podcast and our businesses in the future probably belong. So that's 100%. Where I'm landing.
I agree, mate, with you. Like right now, I wouldn't look to leave the UK. That's not to say in 5-6 years' time,
things can change.
If it goes a bit downhill, then there's probably more of a reason to shift somewhere else. Because a lot of people aren't, I'm not saying to Dubai, there's other options. There's the US, there's Australia, there's plenty of other options where people are looking to shift. And I think it is something to weigh up, and you've got to understand where the market is going. And I think you just got to keep an eye on it, basically.
And I watched this thing the other day. There's this final point before we get to our next segment. Joe Rogan had a guy on his podcast, another American guy, and they were talking about the UK and how like we're going through a bit of a boxing match at the moment in terms of our place in the media, our understanding of our sort of treaty between governance and public persona, all of this sort of stuff.
Left and right, loss of political divide.
Exactly. And this guy sat there and he was like, I hope to God the UK doesn't wake up. And he said this to Joe Rogan. Joe was like, what do you mean? He was like, well, the UK, they got on little wooden boats and they sailed around the oceans and they understood navigation. They built an empire. They built a structure that literally gave birth to 90% of what the world's current infrastructure builds itself off of. England is like the place where that all began.
And
we're just a bunch of pale guys on a tiny little island somewhere.
Tiny little island.
When I heard that, I was like, we do need to wake up. Like, we need to do that. And we don't need to flee. We don't need to go to other countries like Samuel Lee's just gone to Dubai and acting like it's the most amazing thing in the world. Like, damn well stay here, batten down the hatches and like crack on. That's my honest opinion.
Mate. You got to fight for your country, in my opinion.
You do.
Mate, but like anyway. Britain in the summertime, in the winter, like it's beautiful, little country roads, especially the south where we live. Like we love it, man.
Mate, and it's just the green
you can't
fields.
beat it.
You don't get that anywhere else.
Trees and stuff
it's beautiful.
I don't see a tree in Dubai. I've never seen one in the photos.
No, definitely not. Right,
sky rises.
Let's get on to our next segment of the episode.
Let's do it.
We've got a Spenny or Penny. Let's get into it.
Hello. We are into Spenny or Penny.
Yeah, boy.
As you can see, we have got Oliver in the blindfold, and we have tequila and orange juice at the go.
Good mix, you know.
Good mix,
Very underrated cocktail mix. Like, it is simple. People say vodka Coke. People say like, I don't know, Red Bull and whatever, Jaeger. But I'm telling you, tequila and orange juice, It's a top tier one.
I rate it, mate. We'll start with the tequila.
Let's go.
We'll give you a little shot. Hold on, I'm going to pour them both in.
I'm actually quite interested as well because there's so many tequila brands popping up.
Loads,
You've got Matthew McConaughey's come out with one like last year called Pantalones.
Yeah.
I really want to try that at some point. I know that we don't have that.
Doesn't The Rock?
It doesn't get sold in this country, I don't think.
The Rock has a tequila brand.
He
as well.
does. Do you know they did like an awards thing, I think last year for the Oscars, and you were only allowed to use 5 words in your acceptance speech. It's really funny. Loads of people came out with some really cracking ones. And he used it as an opportunity to advertise. He like won, and his whole thing was like, whatever the thing was, let's say it's Don Julio. He was like, Don Julio tastes sweet. Thank you. It was like something like that. And it was like, I didn't really like it. I thought it's not really an acceptance award.
Yeah, he's just promoting himself. All right, here you go. Here's the first shot glass.
Here we go. Does tequila have a smell? Oh, it does.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Don't sniff too much. All right, here we go.
Down the hatch. Ooh. Very, very good. Very, very nice.
That was really nice.
You like that?
Didn't like... Oh, there it is. I was about to say it didn't have a kick, and then it hit me.
Comes in a bit later, doesn't it? What are you thinking?
Really tasteful, though. I quite like that. I'm going to start by saying I think that is the more expensive.
Okay.
Just because it is. Usually I find that when it comes to spirits, the ones that are a bit smoother initially, they are a bit more nice.
All right.
Like the ones that are a bit more fuel efficient. I think those are the cheaper ones.
Let's try the other one out. See what you think of this one as well.
I'm getting less of a smell.
Okay.
Maybe it's because I've just burnt my nose hairs off, but don't know. Here we go.
But the thing is here, we don't have like a Tesco's own brand. So there are...
No, these are 2 popular brands, I think, aren't they?
Yeah. How was that?
That
Seemed
one
like
hit
it had
me
a bit
much
more of a
sooner.
kicker, yeah.
So I'm going to say that I think the second one is the cheaper one, just from my initial base logic. It tasted okay. It's a little bit more of like I don't know why the word grated is in my head. Like it's got more of like a sharper, yeah, almost like a chemical sort of taste.
Well, do you want to take your blindfold off for now? So, my friend, you were incorrect.
Was I?
This was the first one you tasted.
Wow. Okay.
Which you preferred, versus the second one, which is Patron.
I see.
Which is actually the more expensive one.
It is. It looks like a much nicer bottle as well. I'm so surprised. Wow.
This one had a little hat as well, by the way. Quite like the hat.
Is the percentage different on this? So this is 40. What's that one?
This is 35.
So that might be why this had a bit of a stronger, like, sharp.
So what do you reckon Patron goes for? We're talking a 70 centilitre bottle.
I think
here.
it's quite expensive.
Alcohol is expensive, so
70 cents. How much centilitres is this? This is 200 millilitres, so whatever that works out to be. I will say it is £48.
Okay. Close, very close. 42 to 45.
Oh, okay.
But on a club card, you're looking at 39 on Tesco's.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah, so pretty cool. What do you reckon? So they're actually owned by Bacardi.
Oh, are they?
That's what they sit under. So what do you reckon their revenue is
so
annually?
I'm taking Bacardi's.
Well, no. This is Patron.
Specifically Patron.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're very popular.
Liquor brands have always got crazy revenue stats because they are a more exclusive drink. And I think Patron, especially in the States, is much, much more popular. I'm going to take a stab in the dark here and say, I don't know, 150 mil?
Way higher.
Is it way higher? To be fair, I thought when I said that.
1.5 to 2 billion.
Okay, we've
annually.
never gone that high.
Nuts. I've seen some of the like bottles that they sell. I think they're one of the most expensive tequilas on the market.
There's probably a couple of bottles out there that are like £100,000 bottles.
We've got one at my home, massive blue one with like it's like beautiful. The bottle's insane. We've kept the bottle. That's how nice it is. But they sell at like all the exclusive events, like Wimbledon, for example. Sold out, mate.
Really?
Yeah. Insane.
Wow.
They love it there.
Fair enough.
So yeah, this is like one of the top premium tequilas worldwide, essentially. It is huge. Apparently the premium tequila market is growing to an 8 to 10% year on year, which is crazy.
Tequila's getting so popular.
It is, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what do you reckon about this one? So this is Sierra.
I think this is the one that I recognise. So I know that like people were buying this when we were at college and uni and stuff, so it can't be that expensive. I'm going to say it's like a £20 bottle.
Yeah, pretty much. 18 to £20. Yeah. Pretty good, though.
That is pretty good.
It's a lot more
that
you get as well. And you preferred it as well. And you get more for your buck.
Hey.
So, yeah, what do you reckon their revenue is?
Oh, I would say that there's is, well, to be fair, because I think this one is so in so much more excess, I will say that one's sat at 300 mil.
Pretty much bang on, mate.
Right.
They reckon 200 to 300 annually. So, yeah, you hit the money on the head there. This is basically, they're pretty good because they do undercut in terms of price to a lot of the expensive tequilas.
Which is going to take
and
away from profits,
it's a lot more accessible for a lot more people.
And I guess another thing about the alcohol brands that we haven't really spoken about before, but if you have got that higher echelon of salary and lifestyle and stuff, you do buy some of the crazy expensive alcohols. You remember, like, it's almost like a statement piece to say, like, that sort of old English home or that vintage high-rise luxury mansion.
The wines,
they've got like the wine caves, the whiskey caves, the bars, and all this sort of stuff. And that's where you get like people going, "Oh, this is a £70,000 bottle."
Yeah, from 1700s.
Do you see what I mean? Yeah. Like, and that you do get in that echelon of people. However, this part of the market is going to be very specific to a large demographic. You have to be, exactly. It's the going out drink. So
100%.
Yeah, the market of liquor is just crazy.
It is nuts. But also, what I find interesting is these big brands actually own a load of liquor that you see on the stores.
Yeah, they do. There's a couple of like
heavily dominant, by a few brands. Same as like Coca-Cola and all the drinks like that.
True.
All right, put your blindfold back on, sir.
It's going back on, mate.
We are going into orange juice world.
Here, I love orange juice.
Oh, mate.
Apparently, it's not that good for you. I was at work the other day, and I had this one person that I was with for the day, and he was like having this massive rant about like breakfast and what you should eat at breakfast and stuff. And he had a rant about orange juice. He was like, "It's terrible for you." I felt really bad because I love orange juice.
What did he say?
Just saying that acidity is not good for you. It's not what your stomach should have. All this sort of stuff. I don't know. I'm not very keyed up when it comes to nutrition, but I mean, I'm sure there's truth to it.
Better than a lot of other things you could have, put it that way. So, like, if you're drinking, I don't know, energy drinks for the morning or something like that.
New tonic.
Well, no, like Monsters and shit like that.
Yeah.
Orange juice is better.
True. Oh my God, you reminded me of something.
What?
New tonic. This is absolutely made my 2026. New tonic is now sold in individual cans in Morrison's and certain co-op stores. Mate, when I saw it, I screamed with joy. And then I cried because I realised it's part of my 75 hardware. I'm not allowed to have more than 5 a week.
Yeah, mate, you got to be careful about it.
I am utterly depressed about it. But I'm also
can stock up on it. You can stock up on it.
I'm stock. I might spend money on that every week and then have a massive...
If it's part of the meal deal or something like that, that'd be unreal.
I don't know if it is actually. I've got to go and check. But
I only got announced this week. That's good.
Only got announced this week.
I was so surprised they weren't, to be honest.
Yeah, I think we're going to do it at some point.
Here we go.
Okay.
I'm going to give you the first one. There we go, sir.
It's orange juicy.
So these are both no bits, I believe.
Thank God. I'm not really a big fan of bits.
No?
No.
You're a bit picky.
Yeah, I am. I don't like pulp in my drink, you know.
Pulp. What are we thinking?
I'm going to take a stab and say that's the cheaper of the two.
Okay. But unsure?
But I am unsure. I think I've got to have the comparable.
For your breakfast?
I would drink it, without a doubt.
Go.
But yeah, I'd say that's... I want to guess off the bat that that's the cheaper one of the two.
What about smell-wise? Did you get anything there?
That's the thing. I didn't get a really strong scent. And I think it came across a bit watery. I might just be confusing myself at this point. But right, this next one. I'm getting more orange smell.
Okay.
Right.
Interesting.
Oh, but I'm getting more watery now. That's difficult, you know. This is probably the hardest one I've had.
Right, well, I'm going to have to push you for an answer here.
I'm just going to go with my gut. I'm going to say the first one's cheaper.
Yeah? You sure? Standing by it?
Definitely not sure. But
okay, open. Reveal. The first one you tried was indeed the cheaper one.
Cool.
It was the Tesco's own brand.
I see.
The second one was Innocent.
Okay.
Really shocked that it was so close.
Blown away that it is so close. Maybe you should try them as well. Like, it is dangerously close.
Go on. I'll try them now.
Yeah. But like, I'll
blindfold myself.
Oh yeah, go on then. They're both very tasty. I guess I'm surprised that the cheaper one is such a close comparable, really.
Yeah.
Right, you ready?
Yeah, go on.
There you go.
Okay, that smells good. That smells good.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I know what one that is.
Okay. You reckon that's more expensive?
I think that's more expensive.
Interesting. All right, next one.
Barely can smell anything.
Okay.
A lot more. Yeah, that's a cheaper one. That's a lot stronger. Like, I don't know what you call it, but I can
sure?
just. Yeah, I'm positive.
Right, blindfold off. You are. No, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I guess mine was just fried by the tequila then. So
maybe your palate might be a bit.
Taste buds were just a bit off because of the tequila.
So it doesn't matter when you have orange juice
and
tequila.
cocktail,
Go for the
just
cheaper
get the cheap
one.
orange juice.
Bosh.
That's what we've learned here today,
Right.
people.
Okay, so let's talk money.
Let's.
Money talks. Okay,
Money,
let's go
money.
Tesco's. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go. Yeah, Tesco's. What do you reckon this cost on a store?
Oh, dirt cheap. I'm saying this. It's like £1.50.
Pretty much £1.25 to £1.60 is what you're going to find it
Rate
for.
it.
What do you reckon though? Tesco's group revenue is
The whole Tesco's group.
yeah.
Wow, this is gonna be big. I've got to go for a stupid number here.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
it's
go
nuts.
for 75 billion.
69 billion.
That is fucking
That's pretty
close.
good, mate.
I'm so impressed I got that
But
close.
what's really interesting? What do you reckon their own brand makes up for in terms of grocery sales?
What Tesco's own brand
Tesco's
stuff?
own.
That's a really good point. As a percentage,
Yeah.
I am actually gonna go quite strong here. I'm gonna say 38%.
This shocks me, right? They reckon it's just below 50%.
Wow.
Nuts.
Wow.
Nuts.
That is mad.
That's insane. That's probably why they've got such extortionate revenue, mate.
That is mad.
It's nuts. I wonder what
They're
their
no
profit
longer
margins
just a
off that.
supermarket.
Yeah.
Now they're like an actual
Yeah, they made their own
manufacturing.
Yeah, but they
like,
only have it
superpower,
in
effectively.
Tesco's, which is
Wow.
crazy as well. That's nuts, right?
That is blowing my mind.
Let's go on to Innocent then. What do you reckon that's going for?
Oh, obviously a lot less. I'm going to say Innocent. I don't think they would have hit. Excuse me, got the hiccups now.
No, I mean price points. Sorry,
price
store.
points. Sorry,
yeah. Not revenue.
Oh, it's expensive. I'm going to say £4.
Yeah, £3.50, £4. What are you looking at? And then it's
I think
ridiculous.
it's a slightly
like,
smaller quantity as well.
And you
though.
also get like the smaller Innocent bottles, you know, the smoothies.
Let me tell you about this. Right?
But like they go for so much, and you
Yeah.
can just go around the corner and get a big one for the same price.
Here, this is a bit of Ollie's stupid moment.
Here
right?
we go.
So every now and again, my lazy ass does Uber Eats delivery for groceries instead of going to the shop, just because I'm a lazy bastard, right? Anyway, every single time, and I mean, this has happened. Probably, I can think of 3 accounts, which is far too many for it to have happened more than once. Where I get to the checkout and it goes, "Do you want to add anything to your basket?"
Right, yeah.
And it comes up with the strawberry innocent smoothie,
The banana
and it
one,
comes
yeah.
up with it's like £1.89 or whatever, or
Yeah.
like £2.89 or whatever. I think it's £2.89. And it looks on the picture like the big
Full
bottle.
size, yeah.
And so I go, "That's a bargain." I buy it, and what turns up is a 300
Tiny little
milliliter
thing.
innocent. I've done it 3 times for £2.89. I want to bang my head against
That
the wall.
is a
I've got to stop
rip-off,
doing it.
mate.
It's
Yeah,
really annoying me
100%.
at this point.
Right, what do you reckon their global revenue is?
Right, I'm going to say
These are
let's
the
just go
latest
simple.
figures that
I'm
we've
going to go 180 million.
750 million.
Okay, that's quite
yeah,
impressive.
nuts. Apparently, in the UK, they're the leader for premium chilled juice and smoothies.
Nice.
They are insane, Innocent. We've spoken
They are
about
very
them a
nice.
lot. Yeah,
They
very,
are
very
quite
good.
pricey though. I mean, I guess it's.
I really rate them, mate.
I do rate them, but I just think when you've got that. I mean, I guess in my taste buds,
Depends-
being so close,
depends. If
like,
you go for
almost
cheap-
quadruple the price.
Yeah,
like-
but then profits and stuff like that are going to the right place.
True.
Tesco's, it's just being pumped
That's
in to
a
buy
very
another
good point. That
Tesco's.
is a really good point. They've got a lot of stuff on here.
I know.
about
I think
how-
sustainability, as we mentioned, is a huge thing these days. So, like, if a brand represents that, a lot more people will actually tend to go for that.
and they do market it well on their branding packaging.
Yeah.
Actually, so yeah, fair point. Right.
Anyway, that is all we have for Spenny or Penny.
Yes.
Until next time.
Until next time. And we are back from Spenny or Penny. It was a good one.
Yeah, how's
Taste
your mouth
buds are
feeling? All right.
It's okay. I've got the orange juice now on the
Yeah.
go. I'm having the cheap one because obviously I think it's seriously expensive. We are going to kick off. We're talking a bit about the emerging markets, what industries are performing best in certain demographics. Now, I've still focused on the 4 that I mentioned earlier when I was mentioning about tax.
Nice.
So I'll kick off with the UK.
Sure.
The UK at the moment, strong markets which are showing great potential in the UK. AI and fintech in
Nice,
general,
yeah.
obviously that's going to be a fairly regulatory statement from the rest of the emerging
Yeah,
markets. But in the UK, green energy and climate tech has been huge in this country for the last couple of years. And with Labour putting in the sort of tenets that they've been putting when it comes to sort of conservative, sustainable stuff, it makes a lot of sense that market is performing really well. And that also goes into life sciences and health tech. In the UK, there is an incredible amount of money going into life sciences and health tech. £49 billion in the UK in terms of the annual contribution to the economy from life sciences. And also, London attracts 40% of all European fintech investment at the moment.
Yeah.
40% of all of Europe.
Huge.
So, I mean, those are two that I think. Have you got anything in the UK? Like that for me was
No. I've touched on different markets, so you can crack on if you want.
Okay, well, I'll go on to the UAE. Yeah. The UAE is the next one I've got. Emerging markets at the moment they're pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Trade and logistics is huge. I mean, over here it says now their non-oil sectors contribute to 75% of the UAE GDP, which has been a massive shift in their business demographics recently. And they rank obviously number one globally in terms of inward greenfield FDI, which basically means companies that open either a HQ or a factory or an import in another country. Dubai is the number one on business lists around the world.
That's crazy.
Which is quite impressive. It's on the most.
That's huge.
And finally, Dubai handles 15 million containers per year through their port system. 15 million. So trade and logistics is huge.
Massive.
Wealth management, family offices go hand in hand with that. And then finally, the UAE, a pretty self-explanatory one. Crypto, Web3, digital assets. The UAE is booming for that at the moment. They are literally putting so much investment into that. And you see a lot of the people who are the traders, the crypto guys, all that sort of stuff.
All going over there, yeah. Makes sense. So I've got a bit about UAE and Saudi Arabia as well, but I've more looked at it from, if you're a company, what industry should you be looking to do out there? Yeah. So obviously the consumers there are spend heavy because they've got so much cash lying about. True. So the people want to buy brands, not bargains. True. So if you are there, make sure you're pricing up to that as well. They're also status-driven markets, so branding matters so much more than price. That's why you see the Ferraris, the Lambos, Bugattis, whatever it may be, kicking about. They also have huge government-backed growth initiatives. So if you are a startup business or looking to shift your business over there, the government are going to back you to the hills to try and grow it up because they're really looking for new businesses to come into the market. So yeah, it's something you need to have a look at, but also be careful of the cultural sensitivity around there as well. You need to make sure your brand aligns with that, whatever the cost. Otherwise, you're going to get a bit of trouble. Don't
go over there with your tequila brand because you won't have a good time.
Exactly.
The US.
Go on.
Emerging markets from my sort of perspective on that. AI and big tech, obvious one.
Yeah, massive.
They've been talking about that hugely. But another one at the moment, which I think is fairly visceral from the president at the moment, has been defense, aerospace, government technology. The amount of contracts being signed by DJ up there is absolutely huge. Biotech and healthcare is also huge as well. 55% of the global venture capital market is in the US at the moment.
Yeah, massive.
AI market is predicted to exceed 1 trillion by 2030.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to the GovTech and stuff like that, a really incredible thing is loads of companies are looking to go public in the next 4 years.
Yeah, I've seen that.
States.
Yeah.
And
SpaceX apparently might be coming to the market.
Exactly. OpenAI is looking to come to the market as well. These these companies that are coming onto the market in a public demeanor will open more opportunity for people to contract, work for them, have more public virality to their
well, the reason they do is because they want to raise funds, and more funds they raise means the more they can expand and grow, which is crazy to say because SpaceX and OpenAI are some of the largest companies in the world right now.
I think, I'm not sure if it's OpenAI or somebody else, but I think one of them's coming to the public market at the most expensive public domain cap that has ever been.
I think it'll be
onto the.
I think it would
exchange.
be SpaceX.
It might be
because of what they're valued at, from my understanding, but I might be wrong.
Yeah, fair.
Anyway, I've looked into some other countries as well. So I've got India and Vietnam. Yeah. These are two emerging markets coming to the forefront. So we've got a massive middle class expansion within these countries in particular, and they're very much mobile heavy. Yeah. So they buy first on their phone rather than like their laptops or websites. So apps are a huge thing over there, and they will do really, really well. So there's a huge opportunity for affordable and scalable products if you do it in the right manner. Because if you're pricing too high or whatever, then it won't really matter that much as long as you've got the applications to match that. Yeah. And people will be more on that.
That's a really good
And we've got Nigeria and Kenya. Apparently these are home.
Markets at the moment.
Mate, home to the youngest population on earth right now. that in its own self is a huge reason to look to sell over there.
Yeah.
Once again, mobile payments dominate this. This early stage market is a massive upside. If you can get that young audience to feed on whatever products you have, happy days, mate. You're living life.
I think there was like a Shark Tank or a Dragon's Den thing recently where a girl was promoting how her main audience was in the northern African countries and stuff like that. And all the dragons, all the sharks, it might have been the Australian one, I don't know. But anyway, all of them were like, why are you just focused there? Like, come to the US, do this. And they were all kind of like a bit bullish about it. And she was like, no, I'll tell you what I mean. And she came out with these stats on the like, African markets and the growth and the infrastructure spending and all this sort of stuff that's going on there. Every single one of the dragons or the sharks were like, we've just been put in our place. Genuinely, they were like, they didn't know at all.
Africa's a huge continent.
It was
there's a lot of people there.
So impressive.
And then my other one is Brazil and Mexico. So this is very much a culture first consumers. So if you can tap into their culture, you'll be laughing.
Big time.
The social commerce thrives over there, and you've got youth-led trends that spread extremely quickly.
True.
You see it all the time with like footballers and brands like Puma, Nike, Adidas. They spread like wildfire. As soon as one of their favorite athletes wears something, they're all buying it.
They're all very much like back into the sports athletes and things and having these sorts of like role models there. I've got a little bit on China as well. Emerging and strong markets. Advanced manufacturing has always been tenet in China and is still growing. I didn't realize this. Largest EV market in the world.
Really?
Like over 60% of global EV sales at the moment.
Wow.
So EVs, batteries, clean energy, all of that stuff is absolutely exploding by the day. And then finally, their probably most obvious one, industrial automation stuff and hardware, just general computing, like
tech.
controls 70% of the global battery market. China produces 29% of the global manufacturing output.
Nuts.
That is crazy. Almost 30% of the world's manufacturing is done in one country.
It's mental, mate. It's unfathomable. Like when you put it like that,
it
like
really is.
The amount of technology and stuff that hasn't been released, that's all over there. It's insane,
bizarre.
right?
It is bizarre.
So I've tapped into a bit about the legal implications of going global because there is a load to uncover here, but I'm just barely going to scrape the surface, to be honest with you.
Central, isn't it?
So obviously, before you do decide to sell abroad, brands must really understand these couple of things I'm going to list out here. You got local business registration. You can't just sell everywhere legally. Every country, or even cities, states as well, they have their own individual processes. So you need to make sure that you get down into that and you understand what it is. For example, like the UK brands have been selling heavily in the US via Shopify, and they've been fined big time for collecting sales tax without registering certain states.
Oh, wow.
So you've got to be really careful, even if you're doing it online as well. Just understand who your demographic is and where you're selling to.
It's one of those things we mentioned at the beginning of this journey, how you can do a lot of this stuff yourself, but when it comes to certain facets, legal being a key one, having experts when it comes to that side of thing is crucial. And also, if you've got an expert that's worked with you in the UK, don't always put your chips in one basket. Speak to a professional from the States. Try and get it as a recommendation from your already legal team and see if you can work with somebody out there, because you're going to need the best of the best of the best to make sure that you don't go tripping.
And that is where those like companies come in hand who are multiply spread across the world.
It's been
so
said
you got to look at that.
Have you heard about this thing about ChatGPT recently?
No.
How it's been denied the ability to produce legal advice anymore.
Oh, really?
It's like a couple of things. I think it's like healthcare and legal advice, because it's obviously it's an AI system. Shouldn't really be doing that, but like it gets a lot of things right. But because it's got a couple of things wrong now, the exposure is starting to increase. And so they've stopped the algorithm from releasing legal advice, and so people have found their way around it.
They are loopholes.
But like in general, they've blocked it.
I know, like preference all the time, like, don't take this as gospel, go see a GP or something like that. And they always state that. That's interesting. But yeah, when it comes to the local business registrations, apparently some countries have actually been seen to block payments if you're not locally registered.
Wow.
So really do keep an eye on that. When it comes to trademarks as well, this is a big one which shocks a lot of people for some reason. Trademarks, owning your name in the UK, great. No one else can take it. Anywhere else in the world, anyone could have it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't think that.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Well, of course, that makes sense.
UK brands have lost their own name in China because someone else has trademarked it first, and they have the legal right to sell that back to you if they wanted to. So you can't really get into any dispute with them because it's all legal. Like you actually can't go against it.
There's a company with like three brothers out there that they're Netherlands guys, and their whole business model, they've done this with hundreds now. The whole business model is taking best performing companies and apps in the States and China, programming them, putting another name on it that's really close, and shooting it out to their audience. They did it with Amazon, they've done it with eBay, they've done it with loads, and they find it out, and then they've been bought by the original companies when they've chosen to enter that market
because
and
of competition.
made shitloads of money. And it reminds me of another thing, actually. I saw this on another podcast. Dave Chappelle was on this podcast, and he goes, I had this really weird thing the other day. He goes, I went to go on Twitter. When he went on Twitter, he tried to type in his name and his email and stuff. And he typed in Dave Chappelle, and then Twitter said you can't use celebrities' names. And he was like, okay. So he tried to do it again, and he just entered like a random name and went on there. And as he went on there, he typed in his name, and there was an account, Dave Chappelle, verified and everything, his face, that was really funny. And he was reading all this stuff. He was like, that's not me. Anyway, after a couple of weeks, he went back on there, and he saw that the account had started beef with another account, which was Cat Williams. Do you know Cat Williams? The guy who's got that really famous podcast, or he's been on that really famous podcast. And they were beefing back and forth. And apparently it was getting quite heated between these two on Twitter. Crazy. And Dave Chappelle went to go to a comedy gig. And as he was there, Kevin Hart came up to him, and he was there like, Dave, like, Cat's here. Dave was there like, I've got to explain. I've got to talk to him. And he goes over to him and goes, Cat. And the guys are like, yeah. He goes, I just want to explain myself. I don't have a Twitter page. And Cat Williams is like, so? And Dave's like, no, you're not hearing me, Cat. It's not me. I don't have a Twitter page. It's really not me. Cat was like, that's normal. I don't have a Twitter page. What happened? These two fans beefing each other. Got the verifications and been beefing each other and making everybody else believe that it was original Cat Williams and Dave Chappelle. My point being is, it goes back to your point. If you don't get yourself verified on all the platforms everywhere around the world, someone's going to steal your name and your title, and you're going to be left.
And also if you are looking to expand globally, like someone might have your name, and you might just have to fork out a bit of cash, or alternatively get a new name, rebrand. The other one is product compliance. So this is a huge one depending on what you're doing. Labels, safety rules, everything, refunds differ country to country. So you've got to be really, really careful. And also international contracts. UK contracts don't obviously magically protect you overseas. So make sure you get the right contracts for the right locations.
Certainly.
And that's pretty much all I've got for legal implications.
Well, one other thing I'll say, I'll talk a little bit about the tariffs and shipping costs, just lay this out for people who want to understand it from a different perspective. The UK tariff import costs is 0 to 6%. It varies on what business you're in, but it doesn't go much higher than 6%, which is pretty reasonable. Yeah, it's
pretty good, yeah.
In the UAE, they do have import tariffs of 5%.
Yeah.
Still keep it fairly low, but being the number one global import-export sort of place,
imagine how much money that
they've got to be raking in the cash. The US, obviously, their tariffs have been a big thing recently.
Yeah.
They do got to as high as 10%, but that doesn't just... They've got other tariffs outside of that. That's just their import tariffs.
But
China is 5 to 15%.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was going to say. So, like, US, Russia, China, they're all superpowers.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Everyone needs them, so they're going to have to pay that bill, unfortunately.
100%. Export tariffs, 0 in all of them but China. China does have up to a 10% export tariff, which I think is because they understand how massive that market is. That
huge.
They want to make money from it because 90% of their commerce is going out, I guess.
Well, you need to keep the businesses happy, though.
But it surprises me that all the others are 0 for export tariffs, so you don't have to pay any money for that. Shipping cost profile in the UK is a fairly medium sort of market. It ranges sort of low to medium in the UAE. The States is quite high for their shipping cost profile. In most businesses their shipping costs are quite extortionate. And in China, it's very low because of the amount that they have. And then the final point to mention is a bit about like VAT stuff. In the UK, 20% on imports. Strong part of the governance access is making 20% VAT on things. In the UAE, as you can probably guess, free zones often apply, but there are a couple of zones where they have like higher like VAT markers depending on what they're buying. In the States, it varies by product, but China has the highest linked goods. So if you've got like a market from China that wants to enter into the States, they do put the hammer down when it comes to their sort of VAT regulated stuff. And then finally, in China, export focus changed because they make that 10%. They don't then have anything else that hits the market afterwards. So a little bit on the tariffs and shipping stuff there for you if you're interested.
There we go.
Shall we get into our last segment?
Let's do it. This is gonna be a fun one.
We got a fun
battle of the hosts.
Yeah, let's go. Right, y'all. Welcome to Battle of the Hosts. What we're doing today is, as you can probably guess by our attire, we are doing a bit of a global challenge.
We are.
We are testing our knowledge or almost ability to guess certain phrases or slang.
Slang, basically, isn't it?
I'm going to do the American slang and American phrases, and James is going to guess the English version. And James is going to do the Aussie phrases and slang, and I'm going to guess the English version.
There we go.
This is going to be tough for me. I don't know any Aussie people at all, so like I'm going to find this probably close to impossible. But our punishment is fairly brutal. You love nothing more than seeing us embarrass ourselves.
You'll have to basically follow all our accounts to see the punishment.
You will, but we'll tell you.
We'll
what
probably
it is
upload
at the end.
it anyway.
Should we say what it is at the end? Or should we say it now? It's going to be brutal.
Well,
tell
it at the end.
So what it's going to be is we have to post a video on our TikTok with this attire on, doing the accent of either me, the Americans, or Jamie, the Aussies, telling people to go and subscribe to Suits and Sliders. And we'll make it like at least has to be like 10, 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Just
Something like that.
Something
all right. Do you want to start?
I'll start us off. We'll start easy, okay? American, ready?
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Plead the fifth. What does it mean?
Well, plead the fifth means...
People say like...
Yeah, I'm pleading the fifth.
Well, what does it mean though? What's the UK? You can't just say plead
the
fifth.
No. It's like basically saying like no comment.
Yeah, basically the UK is going to keep it to yourself. So
yeah.
I'll accept no comment. That's my easiest one.
Okay.
Bear in mind, there's not a lot of American slang that British people don't understand.
Right, my one. Ready?
Yeah.
Crikey.
It's like shocking. Surprising.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Shock.
Next one.
And I can give it in a sentence as well later on if you... No, I'm saying like...
Okay. Next one. Bang for your buck.
Yeah, I get it.
But you might get it, you got to explain what it is.
Bang for your muck means you're saving something. You're saving money. You're getting what it's worth.
Yeah.
But like to put it into a single phrase.
It's like good value.
Yeah.
You got to think of the UK one, bro.
All right, so what you're saying is good value, yeah?
That's well. You said it's what it's worth.
Yeah.
When you said what it's worth, I accept that as the answer.
All right, fine.
Yeah.
Servo.
Yeah. Servo. Getting your car fixed? Going to get a servo?
No.
Shit.
Should have asked for a sentence, mate. You might have actually got it.
Sentence?
I'll give you another go.
Okay.
Oh, mate, I'm just going to pull in at the servo.
Ah. Ouch.
Got a helmet on, how's that?
It's right on my head. Pulling at the service station, like gas station, petrol station.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Okay,
well
cool,
done.
Right. Let's make this a bit harder now. Right, ready?
Sugar plum, yeah.
Well, this one's something you might know it.
Go on.
The whole 9 yards.
Oh my gosh.
I can use it.
I feel like that's a football saying. Yeah, go
on. So I went to
in American voice. Yeah.
I went to New York for the weekend and we did the whole 9 yards.
Okay. So like I would say you did the whole shebang. That's not the direct definition. So like you went and visited all the sites that you had to. Yeah, but what would you call that?
In the UK equivalent is left no stone unturned. Like,
oh, really?
So that's basically, so it means like going to do everything, trying
everything.
Exactly.
Like the full shebang.
The description was fine. Yeah.
Okay, you accepting it then?
Yeah, definitely accepting
Sweet.
it. Yeah. So there's only 2 left. Shit.
I've got 3 for you.
Oh, yeah.
The Gungies.
The Gungies?
Or Gungies.
Yeah, I'm going to have to hear it in a sentence.
Oh, mate, yeah, the Gungies were about, so, had to keep it calm.
The Gungies. Maybe that's like the police. Maybe it's like the military. I'm going to go police. Is it the police?
Yeah,
Is
cop.
It?
Yeah,
Sick.
nice, boy. Whoa, you're
man.
Australian, man.
That was tough. All right, cool.
That was good.
Right.
Jeez, you did well. I thought you would have got 2 of these wrong by now.
I'm so surprised as well. I'm not going to lie to you. Right, you ready?
Go on.
New York Minute.
Whoa, I have not heard that.
I can use it in a sentence for you if you like.
Yeah, you're going to have to. New York Minute.
What can I say? Because I don't want to give it away with the rest of the sentence too easily. Yeah, I was. I had a lot of chores this morning. It took me a New York minute.
Okay, so like.
But it took me a New York minute.
Yeah. So, like a hot minute, but basically saying it took a long time. Like it's going to take me a hot minute.
Is that what you're sticking with?
Well, long time, yeah.
It's the opposite. It takes a really short amount of time.
Really? It's quick.
Yeah, so in New York Minute, because everything happens so fast paced there, and it's like a flash, it's like a moment. So the UK equivalent would be like takes no time at all, or it happened before
Rapid,
you could know it, or stuff like that, right? So yeah, that's what a New York Minute
Fair. There we go. So that's
right.
I'll give you one. That's 1 point for you then, yeah?
Okay, I'll tell you, we'll do it that way.
We'll do it that way. It's easier.
That's just complicated for Tom.
All right, don't worry. It's fine. We know the score, so carry on. Right. Adelaide. That's not
the place.
No.
Okay, can you use it in a sentence?
That's Adelaide.
yeah, that's not what you just said.
Adelaide. Okay, using a sentence. Oh, no, he's at Adelaide.
He's in Adelaide. He's a stranger?
No. That what you're looking in, yeah?
Yeah.
Lad.
Is it?
Yeah.
It came across my mind, but then
You're right, Adelaide?
Oh, fair enough. Right, so we both got one wrong. Last round. Are you ready?
Yeah, go on then.
Right, where is it? Monday morning quarterback.
Oh my God, what the hell? It's such an American saying as well. Oops.
Yeah.
You got to use it in a sentence.
Okay,
yeah.
I'll try to go.
I've got absolutely no clue.
Yeah, we were in the meeting this morning, and the boss came in late like a Monday morning quarterback.
All right, I'm just gonna go like hungover.
Is that what you're looking in?
Yeah, I've got no other clue.
No, it means somebody who like comes in after like things have been done or decisions have been made, and like tries to then control the situation. So like,
so what would it be as a word?
So it's like it's a phrase. So it's like in the UK it'd be like sarcastic, saying, "Oh, I don't know what I would have done without you." Like it's sarcastic to be there. Like, oh, it's already been done, but like they've come in after the fact. So quarterback is the sense of like controlling the whole situation, but Monday morning is like everything's already happened. Like you've come in late, sort of thing. So that's what they say. The phrase is
fucking hell. That's long-winded.
Well, if you'd have said anything that was like somebody like comes in and tries to make loads of decisions, I would have given you that.
Yeah, no, I wasn't getting that at all. Right, ready?
Go on.
Eshe bra.
Say again.
Eshe bra. Eshe bra.
How's it going, bro?
Is that what you're looking in?
Yeah.
Nah.
What is it?
Roadman.
Oh, is it? It's like
it's like a chav kind of thing.
Interesting.
You go, oh, the Eshe bras are here.
Fair enough.
Apparently, it's like a proper saying over there.
So we both got two wrong.
Yeah. So
I've got
lost.
one extra. If you want to try and find one extra.
All right, I'll have a look.
Or is there like a way we can? Or do we both do the video where we?
I think we both got back and forth here or something. Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, we'll do a dual punishment for a change. Fair enough. Right. Well, I mean, there's some interesting things I've learned there. That's for sure.
Yeah, I've never heard of quarterback Monday thing.
Monday morning quarterback. Yeah, like I was watching
That's
this.
nuts.
It was like an English person and American. They were doing slang competition against each other. She was like, "Yeah, we say like if someone's a Monday morning quarterback, it means they come in and try and make decisions."
To be fair, there's a few I haven't heard from the US.
Fair
play.
Well, let us know if you got any other funny little phrases and sayings that we might not know that we can try and figure out the actual definition of. Should we get straight into the outro and then we'll go away and do our little
I can't believe we've drawn again.
Oh, mad. Well, thank you very much for joining us on episode 46.
46.
We had a blast. We've got some more going on over at the Patreon, though. We've got an extra little segment over there, as well as some other juicy content about us potentially going global. So if you want to go check that out for the sum of £4 a month, 13p a day, you can do. And we've got plenty more stuff there, as well as competitions for you lovely people. Anything else?
Make sure you subscribe, mate.
Certainly. Hit that like button and go and check out the socials now so you can come and see this video of us making a tit of ourselves.
Great fun. Right. Well, cheerio.
Total pip.
See you later. Hello. We are into Is It Really? No, we're not. Try again, Tom. From the top.